Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents Money in the Bank. Predict the outcome for Money in the Bank. As you see right here, a lot of faces that's going to be participating in Money in the Bank, including Ronda Rousey, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bobby Lashley competing in a United States Championship match. Drew McIntyre will be competing in a Money in the Bank ladder match, as well as Becky Lynch and a host of others in a Money in the Bank ladder match. We'll get to that. Plus, two. Logan Paul on Hot Topics. You can see right here, Logan Paul has officially signed with WWE. What does that mean? Logan Paul has one message for one man, and his message is for the Miz. We'll be seeing this match sooner rather than later. There's a lot going on tonight here on the Money in the Bank. Predict the outcome as we get to show you what matches are on the card as the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Diggs here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Thank you all for watching this edition of Pro Wrestling Show as we talk about Money in the Bank. As you see right here in the background behind me, Money in the Bank comes your way tonight. As you can tell, Money in the Bank will come to Las Vegas, Nevada. Viva Las Vegas. Money in the Bank. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here as we talk about the Money in the Bank, predict the outcome special right here. Money in the Bank comes your way from Las Vegas, Nevada. We know tonight, Money in the Bank, two Money in the Bank ladder matches, one for the men's and one for the women's. A lot to get into. Also, 4 championships will be decided as well. There's a lot going on tonight. So, Money in the Bank is here. Let's get into it. Let's get into it right now with the first Money in the Bank. And we're going to start off with let's hope, we're going to start with this. We're going to start off with the women's division. We're going to start off with the Raw Women's Championship match. As you see right here, Bianca Belair defends her championship against number one contender Carmella. Now I know it's a song and dance again. We know that this is just Carmella being in a championship opportunity. Carmella won a championship opportunity a couple weeks ago on Raw, where she defeated, and you know what she defeated. She defeated 5 other women, including Becky Lynch, to get this opportunity. And a lot of people tried to dismiss it, saying Carmella doesn't deserve another championship opportunity. Carmella tried to dismiss it to the dismay of fans, saying that she does earn this championship opportunity. And Carmella wants to showcase that she wants to be the Raw Women's Champion by any means necessary. Now we know that Carmella, who has her sights set on one to be the Raw Women's Champion, but in order to do so, she has to go through champion Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, who won the championship at WrestleMania, defeating Becky Lynch. Bianca Belair has something to prove. She wants to stay champion after defeating Becky Lynch for a long time. This had been coming for months. Bianca Belair has that opportunity to grace the stage. Like I said, this is a easy match for me, easy peasy. Look for Bianca Belair to retain her Raw Women's Championship over Carmella and send Carmella home packing. I think Carmella got to realize too that things ain't gonna look too right for her in the Raw Women's Championship picture. Carmella is just a fill-in for now until something comes up once again. But look for Bianca Belair to retain her Raw Women's Championship over Carmella. Look for Bianca Belair doing her average move sets. Carmella might get the open hand at the beginning, but Bianca Belair going to be the one that to use her power and her strength to retain her Raw Women's Championship. Speaking of that, championships, Bianca's husband, no stranger to a championship, the Street Profits challenge the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, the Usos. The Usos has been on the road since winning the Tag Team Championships and unifying their SmackDown titles with Rated RK Bros Raw titles, and now the Usos are now the top tag team in the WWE, and rightfully so, they are. I have no further belief that the Usos are the team to beat in the WWE when it comes to tag team wrestling. The Usos have been impressive. So like they've been going through, they have not ducked and dodged no challenges whatsoever. The Usos are the team to beat. The Street Profits are kind of on that verge and stuff to beat. But the Street Profits have been tag team champions, been Raw tag team champions, been SmackDown tag team champions. This past yesterday on SmackDown, there was a what you call it, Ask the Tag Team Champions Summit, and they was trying to allude that the Street Profits are having trouble and they're not getting along. The Street Profits try to quickly dismiss that and stuff, saying that they do get along, and it's just WWE planting the seeds that the Usos, that the Street Profits, I meant to say, are breaking up. I mean, if that happens, I don't know. To me, both Street Profits kind of need each other. Now, a lot of people are kind of pointing out that Montez Ford wants to break off on his own and do his own thing. I don't think that should, WWE should consider that. Like, they had got the rub from John Cena this past Monday on Raw, and I don't know, because to me, you break up the Street Profits, and Dawkins kind of winning as well. What does that do for Dawkins? He'll be lost in the shuffle, if you ask me, and stuff. And I don't know. And then they talking about they want to push Montez Ford. Montez Ford, to be honest with you, I don't know for sure, because this is Montez Ford. He's trying to jack up for gangs and stuff. I guess he's just, to be honest with you, the Street Profits are in the shadow of Bianca Belair, to be honest. So he's in the shadow of his wife, and I know he don't want to upset her and make her make himself go crazy. But to me, the Street Profits will stay a team. I think WWE just teasing it and stuff. If there do be dissension, it won't be right then, right there. It'll be like once, like if WWE see potential, but they talking about making Montez Ford like the next Rock. I don't see him as the next Rock. It just ain't gonna work out. And then they also asked the Usos, if they don't retain their tag team titles, what does that say about them with Roman? And Roman's like I said, this match is going to be a pure match of nutrition and stuff. I don't see the Usos losing anytime soon. So the Usos will retain their tag team titles from the Street Profits. The Usos will stay WWE tag team champions for another go around. I just don't see it for the Street Profits winning tag team titles, tag team gold right then and there. I think the Street Profits are just fill in until something bigger and better. So I don't know where it could be. It could be the New Day. It could be a possibility, but look for the Usos retaining their tag team titles, and keep Roman happy as of now. I just don't see it, but the Usos will the Usos will stay tag team champions going forward. Look for that. Also, too, another match that people have been talking about, this match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey defends her title against Natalya.
We know Ronda Rousey has been a force to be reckoned with ever since winning the championship at WrestleMania Backlash from Charlotte. Ronda Rousey has ducked no one neither when it comes to challenges like Raquel Gonzalez. Um, you name it. She has not ducked no one. And something like that in that nutrition. We know that both women are submission specialists. Ronda with the arm bar and Natalia with the sharpshooter. Natalia applied the sharpshooter around Rousey one time and tried to sneak attack and leave her behind. But this match right here is that Ronda Rousey is a fighter, is a UFC fighter, a brawler. Natalia the same way, a graduate from the dungeon. But Natalia, I think one of the two women's championship matches. This is going to be a technical submission women's championship match. If you ask me, um, Ronda is going to use her strikes, use her brawl techniques to get the upper advantage. But like I said, it ain't gonna look good in Natalia's favor. Natalia, like I said, all these matches are fill-ins for eventually somebody to come into place. So look for Ronda Rousey right here. Rousey. No, I can't even say it right now. Ronda Rousey to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship and lead Money in the Bank and head to SummerSlam. And she may be challenging Charlotte, who might be returning in a couple of months. I might be coming back next week after Charlotte got married. So look for that to happen down the road. All right. Also, too, we'll talk about this. Money in the Bank for the women's Money Bank. Speaking of women's division, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. As you see, the crop right here grows. This is the crop right now of the women's Money in the Bank. You see Becky Lynch, a former champion, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lacey Evans, Asuka, Chauncey. These 7 women will be in the Money in the Bank women's ladder match. Asuka and Alexa Bliss are the only 2 women that has experience because they both won the Money in the Bank. Asuka won nearly 2 years ago. When she won the Money in the Bank, she didn't know at the time. She won the Money in the Bank and won the women's championship in that token due to Becky Lynch. Brand gifting her the women's championship. Alexa won at 2008 by winning it and then cashing in on that same night on Nia Jax to become Raw Women's Champion. So there's a lot of history between some of these women. But the main rival to me is that it's going to be Becky Lynch and Asuka. These 2 women cannot stand each other. Becky Lynch and Asuka are the 2 women that want to tear each other apart. They've been competing in Money in the Bank ladder matches for a while, and now Becky Lynch and Asuka could be the selling point in this match. Like, could Becky Lynch do the impossible and win the Money in the Bank ladder match and grant herself a women's championship match? Only time will tell. Same token with Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan have been teasing that they could be tag team partners and become women's tag team champions, but they haven't brought back the women's tag team belt. So I don't know what's going on with that. That we know that what's her name got script of the tie Sasha Banks and Naomi, so we haven't seen them in quite some time. But it's a lot going on. As you can tell on this recent poster right here, the husband-wife duo of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, making it seem like they could be Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. I mean, they can take it back to their household, and we can see from there. But I mean, it's a possibility that could happen tonight. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch both leave with their respective Money in the Banks and take to their household as the first husband and wife duo to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. That could be the possibility. That could be the possibility. Like I said, this is look for this match to have its spots. We know that last night it was a huge 6-woman tag team match right here from SmackDown. They were trying to build it as a brand supremacy. 6 women, 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown, teaming up. Um, like I said, the match ended with the women of Raw merging victorious with the women of SmackDown, and Becky Lynch was in the waiting in the wings and stuff, and she attacked her foe Oscar, trying to send a message. So this match is gonna be all about Becky Lynch and Oscar at the end. One of these 2 women will leave out Money Bank with the briefcase. I look and see that Becky Lynch is gonna do it. Becky Lynch will be the one to be Miss Money in the Bank. Look for Becky Lynch to cash in on somebody or cash in when the time is right, and she will be bragging, talking about it. So Becky Lynch will emerge victorious as Miss Money in the Bank. Um, we don't know what's going to happen with her. We'll talk later about what her husband could be up to his eventually Mr. Money in the Bank ladder match as well. So we could see that going on for well. But look for Becky Lynch to emerge the winner of the Money in the Bank ladder match going forward. Also, too, if we can find the spit, can we find the picture? All right. Also, too, another match for the United States Championship. As you see right here, Austin Theory puts his U.S. gold on the line against Lashley. Lashley, a former United States champion, as well as Theory is the youngest United States champion at the mere age of 24 years old. Austin Theory has impressed a lot. He's the protege of Mr. McMahon at the time. Austin Theory has been embroiled in a feud with Lashley. Lashley and Theory have been at each other's throats as late. They had a pose down. Lashley trying to see who got the better physique. They both got big, physiques. That's what Mr. McMahon likes in his superstar's physique. Lashley kind of reminds you of Tony Atlas, posing with that, and Theory Lashley doing the pose. Theory trying to do his own pose. A little bit egotistical right there. Theory and Lashley at the Theory was a sore loser, losing to Lashley, trying to douse baby oil on Theory as well. Theory being a sore loser and try to make an example out of Lashley. Theory trying to use this as the opportunity to pose, to show what he's worth. Lashley has the physique. Lashley showing folks that he could be a champion in WWE. And Lashley could be a champion. But I feel like this is the wrong championship for Lashley. This is the right championship Lashley should be going for. The Undisputed Championship. I just don't see him winning the WWE title or something. Like I said, this could be a factor too. Theory, to me, his keys of victory. Look at it like this. Theory's keys to victory is duck and hide, run and hide, keep Lashley grounded, cheat if you will, because you can't beat Lashley. Either you gotta low blow him or do something. Lashley's power is keys to victory to me is, power. Power. He's a power wrestler. He's a powerhouse. Use your powerhouse abilities. Theory has powerhouse abilities as well, but Theory likes to cheat and stuff. Like he did Spray Douse and Lashley and stuff. Theory, and then also a big factor too for Theory is this. The John Cena factor. Where does John Cena plays in all this? We know that Theory is no fan of John Cena. And Theory, if we can find that picture right quick. Theory is no fan of John Cena. Theory with that egotistical look and smile and stuff. We know that Theory had encountered John Cena, and it's been rumored that Theory could meet John Cena at SummerSlam. Now, I don't want the United States Championship on the line or nothing. So the best way to do this is this. For the United States Championship, Bobby Lashley should be the one to become the new champion and dethrone Theory out of his championship. And we see Lashley become the one to win the United States Championship. I predict Bobby Lashley to win the United States Championship and become the new United States Championship, and he goes forward with a new rivalry. I don't know what that rivalry may be, but he should not be going for the U.S. title, but it's just a placeholder for him. I just don't know who can he face other than who else. I guess Kevin Owens or something, but only time will tell on that. But look for Lashley to emerge victorious with his over Theory and sending Theory back to where sending Theory to feud with John Cena, and Theory having the issue with John Cena costing him the United States Championship going forward. So Lashley could be leaving Las Vegas as the new United States champ. Also, too, the main event. The main event to me, the main event is this 7-person all-star Money in the Bank ladder match, as you see right here. 2 of them, no, 3 are former world champions. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. They want to get back on the mountain, as well as newcomers, rising stars like Omos, Riddle, a fan favorite. Riddle has been a fan favorite. Riddle almost could have been world champion, almost defeating Roman Reigns and taking Roman Reigns to the limit. But Riddle getting his opportunity. Who want to get a shot at cashing in their Money in the Bank briefcase at this man, Roman Reigns, when he's almost at his weakest? And then I guess they was talking about this yesterday on SmackDown when all the participants in the match were stacking in between ladders. As you see right here, they were stacking. Almost was the only one that was just standing there because he's a giant. They all talking about the briefcase. You can see Roman, Seth Rollins talking about the last man standing. You gave away something, Seth. I don't know why WWE did that and gave that away, but it could be a possibility. All this was going on, all this possibility and stuff that was heading towards that way. Like I said, and then they had a confusing, somewhat a battle royal at first, which that was confusing. I'm thinking, why are you gonna do a battle royal? That don't make no sense. And then they did a fatal 4-way with Madcap Moss emerged victorious. Madcap Moss, who's been on a roll as of late, defeated Happy Corbin. Happy Corbin, kind of, don't know what's going on in the shuffle. He's dealing with a lot of things going on. Even a match with Pat McAfee wants a match against Happy Corbin. Happy Corbin not a little bit too excited about that. But Riddle has been on the roll. He won a battle royal to earn himself into the Money in the Bank ladder match. This was all about the Money in the Bank ladder match. Riddle wants a shot. I know Seth Rollins wants a shot because if his wife is not happy of him not getting that briefcase, she's not gonna be happy at home, no way. So he has to do something to impress her to keep things going. And then he's coming off a roll from defeating Cody, as well as Omos needs some momentum after losing to Lashley. So it's a lot. And this briefcase right here tells all this briefcase could be the opportunity of a lifetime that you cash in to become a world champion. Seth Rollins knows a thing or two about cashing in Money in Bank briefcases. He done it before and he wants to do it again. Seth Rollins was the first to qualify and went and go on. Seth Rollins, like I said, he won't be winning that Money in the Bank. I think what's going to happen is him and Riddle going to be feuding. Seth Rollins going to blame Riddle for costing him the Money in the Bank ladder match, and they have to start their feud going on forward at SummerSlam. Speaking of another feud that's going to go forward, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. No, Drew and Sheamus are kind of bumping heads. Drew and Sheamus have been battling for brawls, and them two will continue on in the ladder match and stuff. So it's a lot of possibilities. We know that they both had to qualify and then requalify for their matches. So it's a lot going on. These 7 men will put their body to the limit, but I expect one. And I expect the one to be Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre will emerge victorious and become Mr. Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre will go on and use that briefcase to cash in to take on Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. That's been rumored. Madcap Moss, he may one day become a Money in the Bank winner, but not at this time. Madcap Moss will not do it. Drew McIntyre will be the one to do it. Drew McIntyre will be the one, and he'll head on to continue his feud with Sheamus, and they both will be competing at SummerSlam for the briefcase. So Sheamus can get his hands on the briefcase. But look for Drew McIntyre to be the one victorious over all the 6 other guys in order to do so, and he become Mr. Money in the Bank. So that tells you right there. All right, that does it right there for the Money in the Bank. Predict the outcome. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna move forward real quick. We're gonna move forward to wrestling hot topics. All right, on wrestling hot topics, we got a lot to talk about right here. Look at this. Logan Paul. Logan Paul has signed with WWE. As you see, Logan Paul standing near WWE interim CEO Stephanie McMahon and her husband, Executive Vice President Triple H. Logan Paul has signed on the dotted line. He has cast the ink dry. Logan Paul is now officially a WWE superstar. And I mean, it makes sense. He did so well at WrestleMania this past April when he teamed up with the Miz to take on the Mysterios. But Logan Paul thought that him and Miz were tight. Well, Logan Paul signed his name on the dotted line, and Logan Paul means business. As you see right here, Logan Paul has one message for the Miz right here. He said, "I'm coming for you, Miz." I don't know what. I'm assuming that Logan Paul will have a match against the Miz at SummerSlam in Nashville. Now, I don't know if that's the possibility, but it could be the brim possibility because he had access to grind with Miz at the Miz blindsided him and attacked him. And I mean, it makes sense to me to, do it. So you might as well have it. But Logan Paul now, official member of the WWE roster. Logan Paul now signing with WWE, and he looks forward to get his hands on the Miz one way or another. So we'll see Logan Paul and the Miz fight each other at SummerSlam. Also, too, weird and bizarre. Max Dupree, who used to be called Eli Drake, used to be called LA Knight, and now he's Max Dupree. Well, Max Dupree had a lot of problems with what's his name, Adam Pearce. Now he debuts his maximum male models. Okay, and the male models are these guys. Mace and Mansoor. I don't know what to say about this. Mace and Mansoor did something yesterday on SmackDown, like they was on the runway posing, like they was Instagram models, male models. If you want to say that or what? I know it's a lot going on, and they're trying to generate heat and hate. We'll see. And now next week on SmackDown, they're gonna do a tennis wear collection Uh, okay, yeah, but I'm intrigued. I want to see what's going to happen with this group, how they're going to get physical, because I think somebody's going to interrupt them and cause a show for them to get physical. I would expect Ricochet or somebody to cause that physicality to interrupt them, and then they just get physical. Um, we'll see. Maybe it might be Madcap Moss that might be the one that gets physical with them and interrupt their show, and they might not like it. So we know they're going to get interrupted, but we just don't know how this all going to play out and how this all going to go down eventually. So we have to wait and see on that one. But I'm kind of intrigued, so I'm not going to say as much right now, but I'm going to let this play out as you can see. We'll let it play out as we go. And another story that's a bombshell. Soul Man Rocky Johnson, the father of WWE legend The Rock, Soul Man Rocky Johnson, who was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. Now, Sports Illustrated has done a story saying that Rocky Johnson would father different kids. Yes, the Soul Man Rocky Johnson had fathered so many different kids. The Rock has half siblings that he doesn't even, he may know, he may not know. But The Rock, Soul Man Rocky Johnson, the father of the Rock, said that he didn't talk too much about him fathering a lot of kids. Now we know that if you stay on watching this channel, watching this show on this program, we talked about like Young Rock on Hot Topics and stuff. And we talked about the recently The Rock had tensions with his father. His father didn't want him to be a wrestler and something following in his footsteps. But The Rock did what he wanted to do in The Rock now, and it's like The Rock. I recall one story where The Rock was living with his father in Memphis, and his father really didn't have nowhere to. Father was like a journeyman or something, and The Rock was living with downtown Bruno Harvey Whipperman at the time, and his father really wasn't everywhere to be. So I'm thinking his father might have just done that, just was around everybody, and he just didn't know how many kids he had. But said was one story that the one of the kids saying one of their mothers couldn't be without a man anymore because she was still in love with The Rock's father, Rocky Johnson, and I mean it just unravels. It just that it just weeks of unraveling, and I mean what they say on the Temptations, Papa was a Rolling Stone, and when he died, he laid his hat where he laid his home at. So Rocky Johnson was that. Papa was a Rolling Stone. And I was kind of amazed what Rocky Johnson did. On one time on Young Rock when he was with Mr. McMahon and talked about Saudi Arabia, and look fast forward 30 years later, Mr. McMahon has the deal with Saudi Arabia to promote shows. So there's a lot going on. I don't know. It's just kind of weird, but it's I'm not surprised nor I can't be shocked because that was common back in those days. Like people will mess around. I think they still do to this day. They mess around and do. So we'll see what's going down with on what The Rock. He had really nothing had such to say, but hey, it is what it is. All right, and also too finally, we can show this Seth Rollins right here, along with his wife Becky Lynch, celebrating their 1 year anniversary of being married. And tonight could cap that off if they're both win the Money in the Bank ladder matches, become Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. Like we said, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, both of them are competing in respective Money in the Bank ladder matches. So both of them could be leaving Money in the Bank with their briefcase. I talked to you about it earlier. Who I think who's going to win the winner for their respective Money in the Banks. But and congratulations to the happy couple on their celebrating their year anniversary as a married couple. All right.
We want to thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling Show. Money in the Bank Predict Outcome. We talked about the matches leading to the Money in the Bank. We talked about SummerSlam. SummerSlam is coming up in the end of the month. So there's a lot we're going to be getting into. So for me, being Kendrick Dix saying, enjoy Money in the Bank. Like I said, Money in the Bank is one of the big five. It was supposed to be in a big stadium. It ain't going to be in a big stadium no more. Ticket sales didn't do so well. But Money in the Bank, one of the exciting matches too. Money in the Bank ladder match for men's and women's, and 4 championship matches. So we're gonna see a lot tonight. So for me, being Kendrick Dix, saying so long, and thank you all for watching the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll see you tonight for Money in the Bank. See you later.